All right, guys, welcome back. We are doing another season preview today for High Limit Racing in 2024. Today, we're going to be talking about, I believe, was the first driver that actually committed to High Limit next season, and that is Jacob Allen, the driver of the Shark Racing number 1A. As of this recording, Jacob Allen is 29 years old. Car chief on the car is Tyler Garber. I think Jacob Allen is technically the crew chief making those decisions, but Tyler Garber is very close with him as far as making those decisions as far as setup goes and things like that. But let's jump right into it here. So Jacob Allen obviously making the switch from the World of Outlaws to High Limit Racing in 2024. 2019, obviously there's a pretty big sample size here for Jacob Allen as he's been on the Outlaw Tour for about 10 or 11 years now at this point. I want to say 2023 was his 10th year. So 2019, we're just going to look at the last 5 years for him. 72 attempts with the Outlaws, made 62 A main events that year. 0 wins, 2 top 5s, 17 top 10s, 42 laps led, 12th in points, and a 16.3 average finish. So at this point in his career, Jacob Allen has been close to many victories. I think the one that really stood out to everybody was at Stockton Dirt Track. I don't know if it was 2019 or 2018, but it came very close, and I think lost an engine late in that race. And so people knew that Jacob Allen was very close to a World of Outlaws win, but it had not happened yet. 2020, that finally does happen. 54 main events to go along with 54 appearances, so made every single feature in 2020, COVID year, might add. Got that one win at the Dodge City Raceway Park in Dodge City, Kansas. Finally broke through for that first ever win. 7 top 5s and 18 top 10 finishes. 78 laps led, 8th in points, and drops his average finish down to 13.9 during the COVID year. Now, 2021, everybody thought, okay, well, Jacob's going to get at least 1 win this year, maybe 2, and step up his game a little bit here. But actually, these numbers decreased a little bit. So 63 A mains in 77 attempts with the Outlaws in 2021. 0 wins, just 3 top 5 finishes all year long, but 20 top 10s, down to 10 laps led and 10th place in points and a 14.7 average finish for Jacob in 2021. Now, obviously, after that year, you're thinking, man, what's going on here? We thought that he was making some progress there in 2020, and then in 21, it kind of goes down. But then here comes 2022, the best year of Jacob Allen's career by a long shot, by a country mile, and it was awesome to see. Everybody in sprint car racing loved to see this right here. So in 2022, 68 A mains in 69 starts, almost had 69 for 69, which would have been really nice, but misses it by 1. 4 victories, that is not including the win during the Knoxville Nationals prelim. 15 top 5s, 36 top 10s, 134 laps led, 9th in points, and an average finish of 11.3. Those numbers were the best he's ever had in his entire World of Outlaws career. It was just a year to remember, a dream year for Jacob Allen. And it was, like I said, it was so much fun to watch him every single weekend. He was almost contender, it seemed like, every single race. Now, in 2023, everybody thought, okay, well, that was the best season he's ever had. Now, what's he going to do this season? But then here comes the Hoosier tire. The new tire gets implemented 6 races into the season, and Jacob Allen, as we know now, does not make the entire season with the Outlaws. So that's why I have asterisks next to the numbers there. 41 A mains in 77 total races with the Outlaws last year. So we do know that he did not make the full season. Tanner Holmes stepped behind the wheel of the 1A car there midway through the season, and then Jacob kind of came back there during World Finals. So 0 wins in those 41 starts, 4 top 5s, 14 top 10s, 0 laps led, 13th in points even after missing all those races, and a 14.3 average finish. So talked about it there with another driver in one of these previews already, that purple box around those numbers, the other one was Spencer Bayston. That Hoosier tire, I think, it really affected Jacob Allen. It really affected Spencer Bayston. Both of their numbers went down from 2022 to 2023. And maybe towards the end of the year, they were starting to figure it out, but definitely at the beginning and towards the middle portion of the year, they were struggling with this new tire. Now, let's jump a little bit deeper into the stats here for Jacob Allen. So in 2019, his feature plus minus, did he go forwards in main events or did he go backwards more? He was going backwards, a minus 149 positions in 2019 with an 11.0 qualifying average, 18 dash appearances, and 21 appearances in a B main event. So he was in the B main quite a bit in 2019. 2020, when he got that first win and one of his best years of his career, still minus 232 in the features. And I will tell you the reason for that is because of his qualifying average of 6.8, which was very, very good. He qualified extremely well all year long in 2020, and obviously a lot less of a sample size to choose from with just those 54 races, but still, 6.8 qualifying average was very, very good, and that kind of is why I think he had 232 on the plus minus there. 24 dash appearances and just 5 appearances in a last chance showdown or a B-main, whatever you want to call it. 2021, that number drops quite a bit as the feature plus minus down to minus 95, but his qualifying average drops significantly to 12.5, 15 dash appearances, and 24 B-main appearances for the most that we have in this 5-year span. Then moving on to 2022, the best year of his career, minus 56 as far as feature plus minus goes. An 8.9 qualifying average drops it down from 12.5 the previous year. The most dash appearances he's ever had at 28, and 9 appearances in a B-main event. So 2022 was just all around a great year. Obviously, he was still losing some spots in the features, but that was obviously because he was qualifying very well every night, and it's harder to keep that car up front when you're already there. You're going to lose some spots here and there throughout the year. So still a great year, obviously. 2023, the year that just passed, obviously was not a full year. At minus 18 feature plus minus, 13.5 qualifying average, 7 dash appearances, and 16 B-main appearances for Jacob Allen last season. Now, let's jump over here to the big wins category. We talked about it a moment ago, the Knoxville Nationals prelim win in 2022, a huge win for him, and also the Gold Cup Race of Champions at the Silver Dollar Speedway, the Gettysburg Clash, that is at Lincoln Speedway, his home track, and the Jason Johnson Classic. That year was held at Lake Ozark Speedway in Missouri. He has 5 Outlaw wins. Those there's 3 right there that count towards an Outlaw win. Then he's also got one at Dodge City, and I cannot remember where the other one was at off the top of my head right now. Cedar Lake Speedway, that was the other one. The Knoxville Nationals prelim does not count towards an official Outlaw win. Now, the strengths, weakness, and we'll jump into the sprintcarratings.com here in just a moment after that. So in the strengths department, in my opinion, Jacob Allen, when the car is right, when everything is going well for him, he is one of the best guys in the entire country when it comes to rolling the bottom side of the racetrack. And, you know, I had this saying a long time ago when I was announcing, you got a guy either, you know, rolling the bottom trying to pay the tire bill, or a guy up top trying to sell some T-shirts. And Jacob Allen was that guy rolling the bottom, you know, paying the tire bill. He is so good at that. I feel like almost all of these wins on this board have come from him rolling the bottom. And in 2022, all these top 5s, top 10s, I mean, it's just from him pole-putting that thing and you know, not going too crazy, and we're going where nobody else is, right? So he is very, very good at that. Also, I don't know if this is a strength, but I think this plays into the advantage of Jacob Allen. Just a 60-race schedule, and it is much easier to stay focused and stay motivated when you have just 60 races. Jacob Allen has been used to running 75, 80 races a year with the Outlaws, and it's obviously quite the grind for him. And we've seen him kind of get unmotivated, I feel like, and maybe lose focus or lose, lose the drive to keep going up and down the road. And it happens to everybody, right? But with 60 races with high limit, I think that is the perfect number for Jacob Allen to kind of stay in the game all the time. If you look at those 2020 and 2022, to me, is that a surprise to see that the races with the least amount, or the years with the least amount of races, were his best years? 54 and 69. And those were all the green years, right? 69 is still quite a bit of races. That's just 9 more than what high limit's going to be running. But out of all those are the 2 with the least amount of starts and the best numbers. So I don't know if that correlates at all, but I found that kind of interesting. Now, weakness department for Jacob Allen, and this one's kind of interesting. Obviously not going to have a teammate with Logan Schuchart on the road with him next year. Schuchart is going to be running with the World of Outlaws, and Jacob Allen is, obviously defacting. Is that a word, defacting? I don't know. But he's got to be with high limit in 2024 is what I'm getting at. And he's not going to have Logan Schuchart to lean on as far as setup advice goes, as far as, hey, where do I need to be running out on the racetrack? What do you think about the racetrack surface? What are you going to do to your car? He's not going to have that guy that's pitted right next to him every single night. Obviously, he's got a lot of friends and a lot of close friends on the road that he can talk to about that kind of stuff, but he's not going to have that guy that he's been with for the last 10 years to lean on for set advice. He will have Bobby Allen out there his dad, making calls and helping him out and those things like that. But having a guy like Logan Schuart, who has been so very successful and is very good at setting up his own race car, not with Jacob, I think that could definitely affect him a little bit here. Also, the top 10 efficiency has not exactly been where Jacob Allen obviously would want it at. So his best year as far as top 10 efficiency was a 70% in 2022. And what that means is when he starts in the top 10, he is not finishing there in the top 10. He's falling back outside of the top 10. And like I said, his best year was 70% in 2022. The other years, 55, 45, 60, 50%. He's kind of all over the board. He's not able to keep his car inside the top 10 when he starts there, but he was pretty well in 2022. He just needs to get back to that form that he had 2 years ago. So that's the weakness. Now let's go over to SprintCarRatings.com. They have Jacob Allen at 21st overall in the last 2 years in all of sprint car racing, right? So out of every driver in the entire country that races a 410 and meets their requirements, he was the 21st best driver overall, and he has 5 410 wins in that time period. 6 high-limit drivers that are confirmed are in front of him on that board. So we do know there are 16 high-limit drivers. Tyler Courtney was just added here, I think yesterday, the day before that. So you can kind of tell where I'm at with these videos. I had a couple of pre-recorded, and now all these drivers are getting announced. And it might seem like I'm behind the times, but when I recorded those videos, I was with the times. But 6 drivers are in front of him that are going to be racing with high limit, and so that leads me to my prediction now. So I think Jacob Allen, if he can get back to 2022 form, figure out this new Hoosier tire, then I think he's going to get between 1 and 4 wins, and I think he's going to be somewhere between 8th and 10th in points, which kind of makes sense because his entire Outlaw career, 8th, 9th, 10th, 12th right there, but I think he's going to be somewhere in that 8th to 10th bracket. And there's a lot of guys that are going to be racing with high limit that don't have that experience of going up and down the road and doing things night in and night out with a high-end sprint car organization. But Jacob Allen does. He knows what it takes to do all of those things. And I think that's going to help him and give him a good spot here, 8th to 10th in points. And then maybe next year we'll see who stays with high limit, who goes, who comes in. But maybe he could put himself in a position to get a charter after 2025 season is over. So, yeah, that's all I've got here for Jacob Allen. We're going to listen to you guys. What do you think he is going to do in 2024? How many wins? Where's he at in the championship? All that stuff. I want to hear about it down in the comments section below. And we'll see you guys tomorrow for another High Limit Racing season preview.